Core Practical 2 for Edexcel A-Level Biology, Specification A, 9BN0. Practical 2 is about estimating the vitamin C content of different juices, different fruits. The experiment is a titration, and what we have here is 3 burettes. Now you can do this one by one, but in this case I've got them all 3 side by side, so I can do it in one go. This practical relies on a reaction between a chemical called DCPIP. Okay, so that's this chemical right here. It's a dark blue color, and what happens is that the vitamin C acts as a reducing agent, and when the vitamin C reacts with the DCPIP, it causes the DCPIP to be reduced, and the DCPIP, which is very dark blue, becomes colorless. Okay, so the whole titration works because we have a fixed volume and concentration of DCPIP, and then when we add the quantity of vitamin C that matches the quantity of the DCPIP, the color of DCPIP becomes colorless, and at that point we stop the titration, or we stop adding the vitamin C or the vitamin C solution, and at that point we know that we've added the quantity that matches the volume and concentration of DCPIP in our beaker or conical flask. Then what we do is we repeat that process with our vegetable, fruit, extracts or juices, and we compare the volume it took to decolorize the DCPIP. If the volume, and based on the volume, based on comparing the volumes of juice that it took to decolorize the DCPIP, we can then make an estimation of the vitamin C content in the juice. So that's the principle. Let's get into it. Again, I'll fill it to 0. You don't really have to. Right to the top. You're always bending down and looking at the meniscus at eye level. So get in line with that meniscus as best you can so that you can make the reading as accurate as possible. Or is that precise? Okay, we're ready to go now with our titrations. So let's begin. So we start, now I'm doing these in parallel. You might be doing them one after the other. It's okay. Between experiments, just remember, if you're using different solutions, you can run some water through the burette. Okay, you don't need to go to the sink to clean them out. Okay, so we are going to use a syringe to suck up 1 ml exactly, right? Remember, these are control variables. Whatever we're doing to keep things the same across our different juices, that is helping us to make the comparison in terms of the measurements that we are trying to make. Okay, so everything else we keep the same. We're using the same concentration of DCPIP. We're using the same volume of DCPIP. So because we're keeping those things the same, it allows us to make sense of the volumes of titration at the end. All right, so we're going to make a start now. And now that I've got my my DCPIP in there, I open the tap. Now I make a note of my start volume. So my start volume in this case, all of them I've set right to the top. There we go. That's, well, pretty much at 0. Yep. Okay, get to eye level, right? And the next one at 0, and the next one at 0. Okay. At this point then, I open the tap, open it as slowly as possible, okay, as gradually as possible, so that you can get that drop-wise fluid falling into there. And look at that, that color has already changed and it is then become colorless. Okay, now it might not go completely colorless because there might be fragments or parts of the DCPIP that have come out of solution or didn't dissolve fully in the first place. Okay, so do not be surprised if it doesn't go completely clear like water. Okay, so I stop the flow of the vitamin C at that point, and I record the end volume. So in this case, it's gone from 0 to about 1.2 or 1.1. Okay, so it's just gone under 1, so it's going to be 1.1. Remember, you've got to be accurate to at least half of these Okay, so that's the titration for the known concentration done. Now, if we do the titration for the other two juices, we can compare the volume that it takes to decolorize the same concentration and volume of DCPIP. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So I'll take up exactly the same volume of DCPIP, the same solution, add, and slowly open the tap so that I get a drop-wise addition of the juice. Now with the juices, it can be tricky because the juices might have bits in it which cause some blockages. So you'll see me attending to the tap a bit more. Okay, so there you go, it's got stuck again, right? So it does fluctuate between going too fast and getting stuck. All right, so I'll keep my hand on the tap there. Just keep that regulated. Drop-wise in it goes. I'm mixing it all the time so that whenever that decoloration happens, I'll be able to see it. Okay, as soon as it happens. Okay, so if we go, keep dropping it in there. It's changed color, but it has not decolorized. I hope you can see that. Okay, so I keep going. I keep going. Yeah, because there's a sudden change. When it decolorizes, it's a sudden change. But remember, because we're adding orange juice this time, it's not going to go completely colorless. All right, so when it's looking like mostly orange juice and the DC pip deep blue color has completely gone, that's what I call my decolorization point. So, or the titration point, because I don't want to miss it. I would rather be early than late. Okay, so there we have it, and then that's gone down to about 9. All right, so with the brand A, we've got a volume of 9, so you can compare it visually right there. The vitamin C only took 1 ml approximately, and the brand A has taken 9 times more. So right from the bat, we can tell the juice is 9 times less concentrated in terms of vitamin C than the 1% vitamin C. All right, and then we repeat that same process with brand B. 1 ml, in it goes. Open the tap, get that gradual flow. It's not too fast and not too slow, and keep mixing it. Keep mixing it so that you can catch the decolorization point as soon as it happens. Okay. Right, you know, remember with the juice you'll have to be a bit more attentive because it does have bits in it. Or it's likely to have bits in it. Okay, that was too fast. I'll just keep it going drop-wise, that's good. Right, this one seems to be taking ages. Okay, so what we want is we want to have consistency between our juices. Okay, so wherever the end point was here, we want to get to the same end point so that we can make our comparison valid. Okay, it's starting to go now. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, and I think we'll call it time on that. All right, so that's just about the same. Okay, there. Okay, so we get to eye level, zoom in a little bit. There we go, 12.5, maybe 12.6. What we have now is we have 3 volumes. Now, obviously in a real setting here, what you would do is you would repeat the vitamin C 3 times, just in case anything went wrong in one of the experiments. You can identify any anomalous values because you have 2 other values to compare it to. Okay, and you'd repeat the same for the 2 juices. You'd get the average volume. So if I was to do this again, I would need to record my start volume, do the titration, record the end volume, work out the difference. And I would repeat that for juice A and B. So I'd get 3 values, average them, and then use the average volume to do my calculations. Okay, now let's go to the whiteboard for the calculations. So once we've done the vitamin C titration with our 1% standard and our juices, we need to then calculate what the concentration of the vitamin C is in the juices, given that we know that our vitamin C standard was 1%. So this is how we do it. We have the titer volume for our 1% standard, and we divide that titer volume for the 1% by the titer volume for the unknown. So brand B, brand A, for example. So titer volume, so we divide the titer volume of the 1% by the titer volume of brand A, and then, seems a bit pointless, but it's just good practice, then we multiply it by 1, so we get our final number in the percentage unit. So, for example, in our case, what we had for the titer volume for our vitamin C was, shall we call it 1.1 centimeters cubed? And for brand A, what was it? So, for brand A, it was 9 centimeters cubed, so 9.0 centimeters cubed. So, we would do 1.1 divided by 9, multiplied by the 1%, and we should get 0.12. So when we divide that by that, we get 0.12. Multiplied by 1 should be 0.12%. And that makes sense because it took approximately 9 times more of brand A than the 1% to decolorize the DCPIP. So we're using that ratio to get a number that is 9 times smaller than 1%. That's 9 times smaller than that. All right, and that's how you would do it. And then once you've done it for this one, you would then repeat that for brand B, and you'd get an estimation for brand B. And that's all there is to it. All right, work hard. That's it, that's the end. All right, don't know what else to say.